Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Welcome back to the channel. The General is with us, and today we're talking about something we actually did today for the first time, is setting goals. We've talked about setting goals before, but we actually spoke to the camera out loud, and it'll be on the video.
Put them on wax.
Yeah, but you like saying the goals to the camera before we started rolling.
Yes.
How'd you make you feel?
Dude, so I really liked it. So here goes the thing, like there was an accountability today because I said it and you can go, like, it's recorded and you can go watch it, right? Whereas like when I'm driving here, I typically set a goal, like, you know, it's like, okay, I don't want to get triangled today. I don't want to get buggy choked today. And maybe I'm working on something or have been like hitting a move and it's time to step it up to a higher level opponent. Then I'm like, okay, maybe that's something that I hope to achieve today. But like, it's never been like a hard, fast goal, right? Like similar to the ones that I set today. And I really appreciate that you brought that idea for today because it forced me into some different areas that I would not have gone to. We get pretty competitive in our rules, and like I often talk about not always being like super like competitive because you don't want to like wash and repeat your best stuff over and over, like especially if you're trying to like, you know, evolve yourself. So like not every time I'm rolling with somebody am I like, you know, like you might see somebody who like perhaps you've watched us train and you know us well and you're like, oh, Mike's a lot better than this person, and you see me losing. You know, it could be that I'm attempting to gain skill in an area that I'm weak. It could be that I'm putting myself at like the end of the rope and I'm trying to work on late stage things and stuff like that. So like that's important in your training, but typically when I train with Jared, I'm here to win. But since we set goals, I had to win a very specific way. So I got into some positions that were not common for us, right? And my goals today were, I wanted 3 submissions. I wanted one that involved the neck, so i.e. like a strangle. I wanted one that involved the arm, you know, kimura, omoplata, like straight arm bar, like, you know, anything of that nature. And I wanted one that involved the leg, right? So any type of leg lock, could be calf slicer, heel hook, straight ankle, toe hold, whatever leg locks we do, you know? And I did preface that I did not expect to get a leg lock because I have not got one prior. But like, you know, it forced me into these areas where like, it's like, okay, like I achieved a strangle, right? And like, that's like my main thing, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you're done with strangles. Don't just like let him know you're done with strangles, like still attack them, but like, you know, maybe I'm looking for the other things. And because I was struggling so much to get in leg entanglements, both from bottom and top, we got to a reverse close guard. So it's a position that we've never been in with each other. And honestly, I've probably only been in maybe twice in my entire jiu-jitsu career, which started in 2007. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so I got to go to there and stuff like that. And I did not successfully achieve the arm lock, but still, like, I was attempting one from a triangle choke position. So like, you know, like where I would probably have just like doubled down, because strangles are like the thing that I tend to gravitate towards. Instead of doubling down on a strangle, which I typically would have, it forced me to go after the arm, which would allow me to build a skill there if I'm struggling on getting a strangle. Maybe somebody shoulders through and I'm like, I'm just not going to get the strangle. So it gave me reps on attacking the arm, even though that was unfruitful. So I would say the goal setting for today really led me towards improvement.
And for myself, my goal was, and it's just interesting, you know, because we didn't talk to each other about what the goals were first. It's just interesting to see what our goals were and how they differed, just from each other, not talking about it first. Like my goals were, they just did the J-Flow. A shout out to J-Flow. Mike did 2 seminars, J-Flow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And then you've been teaching some of the, like,
I'm doing seminar review. I did 4 days of seminar review to try to help like reinforce what he had taught to me, or to us at the seminar, plural. And you know, like that helps me learn it better. And it's like a whole like community strengthening thing. So if you were at the seminars, you got review. If you weren't at the seminars, you got exposure. And me, I got repetition on something that I am no expert in. Therefore, it helped me. And I was tasked with the goal of like relaying the information, you know? So that's a whole extra like level of like responsibility. And like, you know, I did say to the classes this week, I was like, hey, like, you know, maybe it wasn't like the greatest class because this is not something that I'm truly like skilled in or like very knowledgeable of, but it was an effort to improve the community, and I got just nothing but really good feedback on the week of review.
So they did that, and so my goal was to try to I missed all that. I didn't get any of that. So I tried to sort of taskmaster from what Mike was. My goal was to get what they were doing from feeling what Mike was doing. At one point I had my eyes closed while we were standing up, just to try to feel what he was trying to do, and not let him foot sweep me, because I knew it was foot sweeps. So
yeah.
And I did. There was one where I'll definitely have to put it in slow motion, just to talk a little bit of shit, because it was as soon as it happened, I was like, goal achieved. Like, because there was a pretty clean like you tried one, and it was like I just
cycled right through.
But yeah, so that was one of my goals, and the other goal was just to try to continue to put weight on Mike from every. I mean, this sounds fundamental, but just keeping my hips off the mat, using him from every position, even if I'm on the top, or even if he's in like a really great position, much better position than I am. Any way I can keep myself off the mat, using him is going to drain his energy.
Yeah.
There was a point where I was stepping on your heel.
Yeah. I was like, those socks, dude, get off me. I couldn't kick it. I was like kicking it out. I couldn't kick it out either.
So that was the second goal, was just to try to put as much weight on him as possible in every position. Anyway, so I felt like I achieved those goals today. So yeah, just an interesting thing to think about while you're going into training.
I think that this video like is really good for like understanding like different ways to set goals, right? Like we didn't talk to each other as we said. So how we did it was, he was like, hey, let's go tell the camera like our goals for today's role, because we've talked about goal setting in the past, but not to like that level. So he turns the camera on. I go to the other end of the room, so I can't hear him because we don't want to know what we're. I mean, I suppose we could know each other's goals, but for today's purposes, we didn't want to know each other's goals. So like I go away, so I don't hear, like, so that way I don't get an idea what he's going to try to do, and then he walks away. I walk up to the camera and I do it, so he doesn't get an idea of what I'm trying to do. And we both got value out of setting our goals, but our goals were very different, right? Like I set like very like, I don't know, how would you explain them? Like
specific, like technical goals.
Yeah, specific technical goals, and like you don't have to do that, right? Like your technical goals could be, or your goals could be more like Jared's, where he's like, okay, I'm going to make him carry my weight as much as possible, right? And like things like that. And I'm going to try to like use today's live roll to steal like as much of like what I missed from the J flirt, like oh, that must have been, because damn well I just learned this shit. I'm going to be trying it, right? So it's like, oh, let me steal, like I bet you like after this roll, I'll be able to tell you what you guys were doing based on what I'm doing.
The Taskmaster has the coolest powers in comic books.
Oh, you just talking about him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So, like, it could be different goals like that. And if you're going into a role, let's say that you're going into a role with somebody that maybe there's a skill discrepancy, right? Like maybe your goal is to like, don't think of, like, we typically think of like the main thing is like, oh, submission, and then it might be like, oh, guard passes, sweeps, back takes, and things like that. Maybe there's more of like a defensive element to your goal setting. You're like, okay, I'm not going to give up 5 guard passes today. I'm really like this and that, or perhaps they really like cook you from turtle. You're like, dude, I'm not going to turtle today, right? Like, and like things like that. So you can really like modify your goals to fit the situation that's gonna happen.
Yeah. So a lot to think about, and I feel like we could talk about that for a minute. Like that's a subject that can like could blossom out forever.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think in the comments. Set some goals, see if you can achieve them. So the one goal that I've told you that I say in the class every time, the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
My Prime Directive every time is whoever is the least tired at the end wins.
Yes.
For classes, I think it's a good training principle anyway. You don't have to do it that way, but I think it's just a good thing. You can always win if you set that as your goal.
Yep.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. Do the liking and the subscribing. Hit to the
bell
and
come down and train. All right, so let's talk about goal setting.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yes.
Hey everybody.